Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Freedom Forum, Freedom Forge live stream forging event on. Here we are, Independence Day. Seeing as how my family's all out of town, uh, that's all right by me. I'm happy by it. I kind of sometimes like my solitude. Just so happens that I'm here by my own little lonesome here. So I'm just gonna go on doing what I enjoy. Because there ain't no cookouts I'm going to, ain't no parties I'm invited to. So I figure, fuck it. I'm just gonna sit here and forge some steel. Y'all are welcome to stay by, say hi. Come on in, stay a while if you want. Shit, I don't give a shit. Forging steel right now. In particular, I'm making a tool so I can continue on forging the blade that I was making before for Fetty, the Cortada blade. I got the starter hole here. If I can get that in there. There you go. Got the starter hole there. So I can start knocking that thumb ring into place, that finger ring into place. Then I just have to clean up the flatness of the blade, get it to flat out, and profile up the bevels on the edges a little bit better. Clean up this cusp on the top. Make sure that there's a choil just right there before the blade, which is going to be a back swept bevel. It's going to be actually pretty fucking cool looking in my opinion. I've never made one of these. I've never held one of these. So, to me, this is a whole different fucking can of worms right here. I'm making a blade that I've never done more than seen somebody else make on a fucking video. So there you go. You want to talk about a challenge for someone. Yeah. Here, make a blade you saw somebody else make on a video a long ass time ago. You cannot find this fucking video anywhere now. And so you've got to do all this shit by memory. Yeah, that's what I'm having to fucking do with it in order to make this blade, is I got to do this shit all by memory because I can't remember what these things fucking look like anymore. I mean, yeah, I know what they look like, but it's like I don't have the references because every time I go and I search it, it comes up with some fucking crazy ass AI bullshit instead of this knife. Or it comes up with what's his name? Forged in Fire, the Markita comes up with a bunch of videos of his face. Oh, going all the way down the line, and it's just videos of why Forged in Fire stopped, this, that, and the other, and trying to call out Doug Markita as being like a murderer and shit. I'm like, come on, dude, stop. That he's a martial artist, not a murderer. There's a difference. So it got my goat to the point where I just stopped fucking researching it, and now I'm doing all this shit by feel. I bought me a new hammer. I kind of needed to. This is a ball peen, little 16-ounce ball peen. And yeah, I got steel in the fire right now, heating up, so I can make my tool. Looks all right. Got a piece of metal out of the fire. Put some more hammer down. Wow. Yeah, she's hot. I could barely see it myself. Come on, you rinky bastard. Straight out. Straighten out. Straighten out so that I can impinge steel now. One of the reasons I don't like working with this freaking, you know, these bolts, these lag bolts, W2 steel. It's not that it's too much of a challenge for me to know how to work it. It's just a matter of, it's still a finicky piece of shit. I mean, if you're wondering, it's not impossible to work. I mean, I made this piece from one of those lag bolts. You still see the thread there, because that's the royal pain in the ass to get out of it, is this thread. But yeah, there's a little hardy horn that I made, and just I need another tool. Always need fucking another tool. I need a straight horn now. Yeah, thank you, you little asshole. We all know. But anyways, how's all yous? Just what, you know. Question for the hour. By the by, happy Independence Day, y'all. You know, straight charcoals. Had to go and put them out. Anyways. So, cruising the interwebs the other day, seeing as how there's nobody here watching anyways, I'm just gonna say it. I was cruising the interwebs the other day, or yesterday anyway. I was talking to, not talking to, I was commenting about, you know, certain things that I figured out as far as chemistry is concerned in order to make the manufacture of black powder safe. Sorry, not black powder, antique muzzle loading propellant. Because of fucking all the horse shit. Motherfuckers goddamn stress me. Anyways, you know, I figured out a way to do it so that it's literally, it's so safe that, you know, until it's dry, you can't even use it. That's how safe this shit is. You fucking light it on fire and it'll just sit there and slow burn. So yeah, I came up with something that was really fucking cool. Now I can't upload that to the interwebs because YouTube have a freaking shit in it. Even though, you know, it would make it easier and safer to manufacture black powder, which would get more people into muzzleloading, which is the objective of the whole idea. You know, so I was just thinking. But you know what happens when I start thinking. You know, steam starts coming out my ears and my brain starts cooking, and that ain't no good for nobody. Oh, come on, far. charcoal. Grab more wood. I will be right back. Oh. Is to choose through fuel. But it works like a charm. That steel hot. Okay. Yes, sir. So I'm just going to let the old forge, let the old form run. And I'm going to get to this old steel, if you don't mind. Hot. All right, now back in the bar. Welding heat. So I want to pinch. There we go. Somewhere. Let that heat creep up it. Slosh under a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Fuel. More oxygen equals more heat. Oof. Forge is hot, boy. And my rooster's being an asshole, so I do apologize, folks. But you know what? You try and tell that cockerel he gonna fucking shut up. Ooh, that thing's fucking hot. What? I think that'll do it. Fucker. Ow. Yeah, bright red. Well, bright yellow, actually. Oh, you motherfucker. Oh, my God. Very cool bar. But I did manage to impinge some steel. Just at the very top. It's all good. Long freaking road to hoe here. Get this tool built. Uh, You know what they say, live dangerously or you won't live at all. Yeah, that's my Independence Day for you. All by myself. I giggle and I joke, but you know how it is. It's always worth a laugh, right? That son of a bitch gets screaming hot. This is what I'm relegated to, folks. So if if you don't like what you see, well, I don't know what to tell you. This is what YouTube allows me to fucking put out as content. Welcome to America, home of the fucking free and land of the goddamned brave, where we can't even speak our minds and speak our piece. Screw you. Go figure. This is just basically how my life is, anyways. Lonely, tired old fucker who's had enough of life and just tired of fucking bullshit. Wants to have a good ass time with what he's got left of life. Imagine for a second. Ain't got much. I got time, but that's about it. And time can be its own fucking torture method. Well, that's the last of my medicine. And I don't have any beer. So the 4th of July is going to be a sober one. Well, as sober as you could configure with, a couple of tokes off the old peace pipe, but still, I'm not like most human beings. Pot does not get me high. Hell, it don't even remove inhibition. It just, mostly because I ain't got no inhibition removed, but, no, it just kills pain. That's all it does. It has never skewed my judgment. It has never made me make a fucking wrongful judgment call. It has made me pass out in a fucking random dude's fucking chair before, but that was back when I was young and dumb and didn't know what I was doing. Now, I think I'm pretty alright. Don't get high. Just take away the pain. It's actually what whiskey was developed for in the first place, to sterilize water and as a pain-killing remedy. As a replacement for rum, specifically because sugar molasses and sugar cane is a little bit difficult to come by sometimes. And so, a good way to get alcohol without doing all that is through grain. However, you run into a wall there where grain alcohol does not fucking taste good. It tastes like shit. And so, only way to make it not taste like shit is to put some shit in it that tastes even worse, and somehow it makes it taste good. I don't fucking get it. Wood smoke makes it taste good. Who'd have thunk it? Like, if y'all ever tasted straight fucking wood smoke, it is abhorrent. Wow, that thing's fucking hot. I'm surprised my shirt ain't caught on fire yet. Thing's all sorts of hot. Of course, that's why I buy, the thick shit, heavy duty shit. I don't fucking shop at regular stores. I go to the Army Surplus because they sell tough ass clothing. I've worn Dickies. I've worn Levi's. I've worn all these other clothes, and I've worn right the fuck through them. I mean, look at what I do to. I mean, these are, desert BDUs. These are standard. This USMC pattern desert BDU. So, I wear through these motherfuckers. I'm hard on my shit. I wear tough shit for a good reason. But this thing right here, man, there's a good reason for ADD. I'm gonna be fair and honest. ADD is not a mental health disorder. It is a survival mechanism that is left over from the time of, chucking spears and shit like that. Hi, Andy. And when I want to say hi to Cheat, I don't know if I caught you earlier, brother. Anyways, yeah. So I'm just, happy Independence Day. Happy Independence Day. Anyways, ADD is a survival mechanism. I don't know why people keep on trying to classify it as like a mental health disorder. It's actually an order, an appropriate quelling of chaos, which is left over from a time, you know. So I would not say it's something to try and quell. I would say it is something to extol. If somebody has ADD, well, that's fucking awesome because they are like the most hyper aware people you will ever fucking meet. I mean, somebody who's got ADD, especially if they're in any kind of sense on the autistic spectrum, I mean, that's just there, you know, it kind of is already. But people who have ADD are like, it's not a problem so much of focus as everything has their attention. Every fucking thing. Everything has their fucking attention at all times. And I mean, you could, this is one of the reasons why I can run a forge and do a live stream. I have fucking ADD. I'm ADD positive. I add more. I am hyper aware. I'm hyper, not just hyper aware, but hyper acute, meaning that I have knowledge that I apply due to my hyper awareness. This comes back to what I was saying about the whole survival thing. You know, ADD is a survival mechanism which was literally ingrained into us by our creation. It's not something to sit there and try and treat with drugs. I'm going to tell you that right fucking now. That is the worst thing you could do is try and treat ADD with drugs because all you're going to end up doing is making it worse. Instead of showing ADD for what it is a survival mechanism your brain is utilizing and is going into fucking overdrive because it has so little to focus on. If you gave it a ton to fucking focus on, that ADD would be just a weapon of mass instruction. And this is why, you know, I've noticed that folks who are like, you know, public school teachers and whatnot, y'all should be listening up like real close because kids with ADD that are in your class are probably 3 to 4 grades ahead of everybody else, and you just don't know it. Now, it depends on what they've had access to as far as information, but them kids have freaking knowledge you would not believe. And that's just like if my childhood is anything to fucking go by. I had a small library when I was a child, and it was mostly encyclopedias, volumes of encyclopedias. And I had access to the local county library, but I had a small personal library. And because of the access that I had to that information, I'm able to do half the shit that I do today. I learned most of what I learned out of books. And then the little that I didn't learn out of books, I learned through hard work, effort, and somebody sitting there saying, son, you're doing it wrong. Here, let me give you a little trick a little tip you won't learn in the books. That saved my ass more than you can believe in some small senses. And I'm glad that I have my daddy around for that. But like I said, ADD is not it is not a mental health disorder. It is rather the brain trying to create order from chaos. So the next time you see somebody who's sitting there and their mind is every fucking where, and they are hyper and they're jumpy and happy and giddy and just laughing and giggling and making all sorts of jokes, give them more to do. But give them stuff to do that they can focus in on and enjoy. Remember, ADD, the biggest problem with ADD is that it comes down to attention deficit. Well, the deficit is in failing to capture that attention. So give them something that's interesting. For instance, my daddy used to sit there after we'd done, you know, what, like hours of math or English or what have you. And then, I'd read an encyclopedia or something, I'd read about one species of animal or, one particular genera of one epoch, something about that, I had to learn something from the encyclopedias or the books on the shelves or something before he'd take me and let me go and do my thing, which was I would, get the chores done. Then I go out back and I go shoot my air guns. That's what I love doing. I love shooting my air guns in the backyard. Then got a little bit older, and people started seeing that I was advanced of the class, and of course that's just makes you a bully magnet. But what can I say? That's just going to be the case. But I was so far advanced of the class that the teachers didn't have the curriculum to teach me. They could only just hand me the tests. That's how irritating it was all through school. I'm like, I know what you're teaching. That's why I'm not paying attention to you. I've already learned this shit twice because my dad actually pounded that shit in my head. So the difference is now, you have to turn around and give me something interesting that'll captivate my attention. Otherwise, just hand me the fucking test so that I can show you I know what I'm talking about, and then we can move on. That was my entire childhood, by the by. I grew up fast, really fast. Like, I don't mean to be gross or nothing, but I was changing my sister's diapers and babysitting them. And I wasn't 4 years old by the time my first sister was born. 6 years old when my second sister was born. Yeah, there, think about that a second. I grew up real fast. See, most kids don't grow up till they's about 17, 18. Some of them a little earlier, about 16. Some of them even earlier, about like 14, 13, something like that. It's real sad when they grow up at about 13. But when you are the eldest son, you got to watch your sisters. You got to take care of the dog. You got to take the trash out. You got to do all the work at the house. And then you got to do all your schoolwork. And then you got to get in an hour of study inside of a freaking encyclopedia. And you've got to also, take some downtime for yourself, because if you don't, you're going to explode. Well, that makes for a fairly interesting life. And you grow up real fast. All right, we got some charcoal to go. Work. Get that motherfucker hot. Impinged some steel. Oh. Hee. It's hot, see? Fire! Hot fire. There we go. Oh, you cunt. Impinge for me. I know you will. Oh. Yep, there she goes. She's starting to harden up again. Warm again. No, get cold on me. It'll get there. Flame on. So, anyways, as I was says, ADD is not a impediment if wielded correctly. You just got to learn to wield it correctly. My dad knew how to because he had it when he was a kid. He knew exactly how to use it. That's actually why I am the man I am today. I got to put a lot out there for my dad. And then also for the rest of them fuckers in my life. I point out to something to you. Yo, welcome. Happy fucking Independence Day, motherfuckers. Crack you a beer. Enjoy yourselves. Woo! Shit is hot. I need some temperature in there. Like to see it. Well, since ain't nobody sitting around and chilling there and watching, I gotta fill up the live stream with some at in order to keep them coming back, right? Here, on this new song. That's long. New song. One in particular, so I can remember off the top of my head. Well, I thought to make a horseshoe and asked my hammer thus. Hey there, KP, how do? Happy Independence Day. Thought to make a horseshoe, asked my hammer thus. He said, I'll ask the anvil what you require of us. The hammer asked the anvil, and she at once agreed that they should meet together in the way that I decreed. And its sparks are flying, passion strong. I am the blacksmith singing the hammer and the anvil song. I thought to make an anchor for taking on the main. The hammer and the anvil relented once again. So they sat there together as I prepared the cast. They my bad. I got something stuck in my throat, y'all. They braced themselves together like a sailor on the mast, and its sparks are flying, passion strong. I am the blacksmith singing the hammer and the anvil song. I was required to make a broadsword for fighting on the field. Much as I know the hammer is a nobler thing to wield. So guard your trusty anvil and guard your hammer so. Oh, inevitable upon seeds of war do grow. When they come a-calling, they'll take it all from you. They'll take your hammer, take your anvil, take your soul too. And it's sparks flying, passion strong. I am the blacksmith singing the hammer and the anvil song. And it's sparks are flying, passion strong. I am the blacksmith singing the hammer and the anvil song. Will they so need me? Statue for the square, the general who died in that battle, I declare. Though I knew they'd try me for what I did decide, I stuck a hammer in his fist and an anvil by his side, and its sparks are flying, passion strong. I am the blacksmith singing the hammer and the anvil song. That's actually a pretty good song right there. Consider it. Sure the hell ain't mine. I do like it though. Yeah. Yeah. Finally be able to take my pistol off my hip for a fucking couple of days. There won't be a freaking deer or a bear in the damn valley. Oh, y'all know I probably won't. Just because that's person I is. Anyway, more music, more song. Because like I said, nobody wants to be here to fucking listen to me forge and steel. They want to hear me singing. Or they don't even want to hear me singing shit. They just want to fucking come in, come out. All right, bye. I got better things to do, damn it. Man, squirrels got less ADD than y'all. You should put that to good use. The attention span of a 2-year-old. Oh, wait, no. I'm sorry. That's an insult to a 2-year-old. The attention span of a damn goldfish. Interesting shit happens, motherfuckers. You just gotta stay by. Sometimes I come up with some off the cuff fucking funny shit, and you wouldn't know it unless you was sitting here listening. And sometimes, man, I just start singing out the blue, like, you know, you never know. Understand my mind. Gotta love that heat, boy. Hey there, Seymour Cannabis. Yes, it's a Freedom Forge, my brother. Do feel free to enjoy. And happy fucking Independence Day, motherfucker. Even if you ain't in America. Hell, I think everybody should be free. Do whatever the damn well they sure see please. Just so long as they ain't harming me or nobody else. That that right there is the American dream. You can do whatever you goddamn well please, as long as you ain't hurting nobody. Yeah. So wish my freaking memory was in song lyrics. Do a lot of other shit, but song lyrics kind of just sometimes they evade me. Weird, especially when I'm trying to sing. It ain't sung in a while. You know, I'll be right back. I gotta go take care of something I didn't take care of earlier. Sun is coming up, so I might as well get back. Try it again. No, you only missed it because I was inside getting myself some coffee. See, this is why I don't like doing the whole live stream, but you get beyond the fact that fucking ScrewTube just fucks me over, man. I mean, it's that bad. I don't get recommended. Yeah, it's alive. I'm here. Yes, I am. I've got to talk out loud. This is fucking joke. Yeah, I've been alive. Shit, I'm the undead motherfucker. See by the dawn's early light, we so proudly we hailed through the twilight's last gleaming. Oh, oh, bright and bright, the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we walked were so gallant, streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, they proved through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. There, I sang it for you. God, I wish. That woman's got a pair of pipes on her. Cat! Holy shit, how you doing, brother? Ain't seen you in a good hot second. Happy Independence Day, brother. Woo! Hey, everybody coming out to woodwork today. Taking care of business, that's right. that's exactly what I'm doing. I got the forge running, as you can see, busting my ass and taking no blame. Morning coffee. Necessities of life, you know, the bare necessities, as it were. Not quite hot yet. It's getting there. Well, right now, Cat, I'm making me a another hardy tool so I can draw out this this finger hole here on this cortada blade I'm making. This is the cortada I'm making for Fetty, free from Fetter's Grove. I got to open up that back end and make it a large, comfortable ring you could actually stick your thumb in if you wanted. Just because I know he's got bigger fingers than I do. Everybody's got bigger fingers than me. I don't give a shit who you is. You got bigger fucking fingers than me. That's why, you know, the blade is oversized to my hand. If you look, it's actually way oversized to my hand. That's by design. I got small fucking hands. I mean, not really small hands, but you get what I'm saying. I got lady fingers. So I got to use my thumb to go for most people's pointer finger. So yeah, I call it a thumb ring. Most people, they use it for, like, you know, on their pinky or something. My pinky would almost fit in that thing, dude. And that ain't really that big of a hole. Here, I'll put this hole up next to a pair of standard pliers so you can see how big that hole is. It ain't that freaking big. There's your set of standard pliers. There's your hole. It ain't that big. So yeah, I'm trying to make me a hardy tool to be able to draw out that hole so, you know, Joey don't mess up his finger in that thing. Here's the oyster shell for my sword that I was making earlier. It's starting to come into fruition. I've been working on that. And then, of course, the piece de resistance, Mad Shad's tomahawk. A true tomahawk pipe made in the old tradition. All one piece of steel, not using, you know, 2 or 3 pieces of steel to make one piece of steel. No, this is one piece of steel all the way through. And it's light because it's supposed to be like a knife, but it's also supposed to be like a pipe. You know, you smoke off of this. So you don't want to have this big old heavy fucking axe head hanging out there. You're smoking off of it, man. So yeah, there you go. Hey, traditional made. The old school methods. Old school, best school, man. I'm telling you. Y'all don't even know. Old school, best school. Got the forge rolling. I got birds chirping in the trees. I got the chickens crowing over there. I mean, today has gotten to be, already is a good day for me. I'm happy. Well, at least I'm pursuing my happiness now. Because I'm pursuing others' happiness. And that's what makes me happy. A lot of the time, that's what makes me happy. Now, mind you, there are some roads I just won't cross. I've had people tell me, "Oh, well, if you didn't wear a gun everywhere, I'd be happy." I'm like, "I'm sorry, but if you weren't such a pansy ass, I'd be happy." So there. Well, yeah. Hey, what can I say? The world is what it is. We can't change it. No way. I just try to get along in it and make my life a little bit easier by making other people happier. That's one of the beauties of blades. Everybody can appreciate a good knife. I mean, it's one of those humans, we have a fundamental need to cut things. We are a species that forever utilized tools in order to cut our food and to cut up the things that we hunted for food to make into clothing so that we wouldn't freeze to death at night. This all comes back to basic human biology. We need to have these tools, which is why I says, this sort of thing right here, this brings joy to my heart. Take a piece of steel, smush it down into a blob, and make it into something that's really fucking cool, man. That's why I like to make swords, knives, axes. That's why I like to make, scythes. That's why I like to make weird blades, like shit you wouldn't fucking normally think of being like that's a knife. There's some weird ass fucking knives out there, man. And you look at these things and be like, there is no fucking reason that should have a sharp edge on it. Especially not there. You're gonna cut yourself. I love weird blades. That's what got me into the Tomahawk. Is weird knives, weird blades. This thing is a fucking weird ass blade because the way that you make an actual a smoking tomahawk is you actually have to use 2 pieces of wood or more, depending on your style, to make the handle so that you'll be able to smoke through it. So already you've got something that won't work with a socket on the end of it. But you've got to have a fucking socket on the end of it to make it so that it'll work. And on top of that, most of these people that make tomahawk and tomahawks, what they do is they put a socket here, and there's not supposed to be a socket here. There's supposed to be what's called a slip bung or a slip socket, and that thing goes over the top of it. Holds the 2 pieces together. And then you use wrap down the handle. You ever wonder why the ones that actually smoke have a wrapping that goes down the handle? That is specifically because it's 2 pieces of wood or more. So there you go. That is why this blade looks funky as hell. It should not, according to modern methods, should not be a knife with a tube on the back end here. It should have a tube right here. And then maybe a pipe back here. But this is actually a design that comes from I would say pre-Old West days, more like frontier times. Okay? When the West was all frontier. Everything west of it wouldn't even say as far as the Mississippi. I'd say, everything west of Tennessee. I mean, everything east of Tennessee, I mean. All of that was not, everything east of Tennessee was all habited. Everything west of Tennessee was all Indian lands. And this is something that you'd have seen out there. And that's the way that they would have made the blade itself. If you look at the shape and the profile of it, the blade itself comes all the way back to the butt cap of the pipe bowl. And this butt cap, the way that this works is that the wood is actually going to sit up against that. And the piece of steel that goes around the outside holds the front end from waggling around in there so that the wood doesn't torsion. That's the whole freaking point of that. So yeah, this would have been an east of Tennessee type build. This would have been a true Cherokee Tomahawk. Not like the ones that you see that were further west, like the Comancheros and whatnot. So there's your difference there. This is more of a traditional, older style, but still has the iconic shape and whatnot. The newer ones would have been, of course, more refined, better looking, and you know they would have had a lot of the time they would have been store bought from peddlers who would, you know, a blacksmith would make up a bunch of these, and peddlers would go around and they'd trade them to the natives for furs, along with firearms and other goods, you know, coffee, sugar, tea, textiles, and this was a thriving trade back in the day. So most of what you see as far as the old, like the old Cherokee ones of these, within a certain period of time, mind you, because there's a period of time before, and then there's a period of time that's after, I would says, that we're not really focusing on with how the Cherokee Tomahawk would have been made like this. The other way that it was made was to actually have this piece of steel loop all the way out and around and be coming back, but not attach, and that would be like a spring tension on the end. So you could literally seat it to whatever piece of wood that you wanted to, because it would just clamp onto the wood. And that's the way fucking old style from probably back about, you know, about 2,000 years ago. So, you know, we're talking damn near biblical times. These people would have had steel. They did have steel, and they would have made them in that particular way. The one with the pipe didn't come around until settlers started trading those with the Cherokee people, or actually with the Algonquin people. Then they moved south along that way and traded them with Cherokee people. There's a lot of trading different along ways, but this is, I know this from my Cherokee heritage, because of what I went through learning this. According to the Cherokee tradition of metalworking that I learned from my dad, who learned from his grandma, who learned from her dad, who learned from his mom. I mean, it goes way the fuck back there, but you know, it's like we had to set down these traditions, set them down there and pass them along. And so this is what I learned. I mean, things that I know about steel, you won't find anymore in, say, like a machine shop or, you know, a welding booth or something like that. You won't find folks that know this shit. You'll find people who know steel really fucking well, don't get me wrong, but they won't know this. There's a few machinists out there still, I'd say, oh yeah, you know what carburization is? All right, that's fucking awesome, because you now know how to make ACL1. Which is literally the steel I use for all of my blades. All of my blades get cooked from a 5160 to ACL01, which ACL is a much harder, much higher content of carbon than 5160 steel. As you can hear it, that thing's got one hell of a ring to it, And, you know, all of those have been carburized. They're almost as hard as that. And that is a file over here that I'm tapping on. So, you know, these pieces of steel are hard, really fucking hard steel, and got a lot of carbon in them. And it's real easy to play around with it, make it move like Play-Doh when it gets right. All right, Cat, you have a good one, brother. Good to see you. Thank you for coming by. So, yeah, like I was saying earlier, this is the East Tennessee style. West Tennessee, you'd see more of the built-in socket with the pipe on one end and the hatchet blade on the other, or the pipe on one end and the Maverick knife on the other, or you'd have the hatchet and a war spike, depending on. Comanche were the ones that did most of the war spike stuff. The Sioux did the one with the. They're known for this. They're known for their. It had a socket in the middle of it, and then it had a pipe on one end and a blade on the other. They're known for that. But little lesser known are this style, the Cherokee style, and the Blackfoot style, which honestly, the Blackfoot style is pretty fucking interesting, if I do say so myself. They make the blade on one end and they curl it around. They take a taper out, this long taper on the other end of the steel, and they curl it around in a big old lasso, and then just keep on tightening it down and tightening it down and tightening it down until it'll actually sit around the outside of their handle. And then they take and they put a little kink on the back end of it, and that's their war spike, and that's how that went. And you could just screw the handle into it. So, you know, different types, different folks. They all had fucking metal working. There was copper that was worked. There was steel that was worked. There was gold that was worked. These motherfuckers knew how to work metal. They wasn't no fucking, oh, well, they were Stone Age people. No, motherfucker, they were not Stone Age people. Everybody touts that shit like, oh, well, they use stone points. Yeah, for hunting, because the hunt was sacred. Holy shit. How fucking dense do you have to be to get that? I mean, you play into this whole religiosity thing about, you know, all this for your religion, but you do not fucking understand that other people's religions take place too. This was a religious thing. The hunt was religious. It literally was. You needed a stone point because it was clean. You needed a stone point because it cut cleanly. And because of the fact that it cut cleanly, it was more kind, the animal. And that animal's spirit wouldn't be harmed. So when it comes down to it, the reason for the stone point has absolutely nothing to do with the focus of those people at the time. It has to do with what was the focus of why they were using that in that particular moment. That was for deer hunting. That was for the coming of age hunt. That was for becoming a man. You had to make a nap at Stone Point, and then you had to hunt your own deer with a stone point so that you could take the bones from the antlers, be able to make your own napper so that you could then turn around and be able to break apart rocks to get to the ore to get your steel. Way back in the motherfucker. Wow. Imagine that shit. Stone Age people, huh? Yeah, no, they were a lot fucking smarter than you believe. They had steel. Hell, they had plastic. Did you know that the Cherokee people had plastic? Back in a time when plastic was kind of one of them, what? that's what it was. One of those, what kind of materials? They were one of the keepers of the oldest types of plastic, made from milk. Made from milk. The same fucking plastic that the fucking Vikings used, the same plastic that the Egyptians used, the same plastic that the Romans used, the Cherokee used. Chemistry. It's a beautiful thing. Woo! Now, I won't be so foolish as to make such a lofty claim that the freaking Cherokee were, independently discovered black powder or anything like that. But I will say they had steel. They knew how to work steel. Hell, long before Cortez, long before that motherfucker ever showed up, long before the Spaniards showed up, they knew how to work steel. You got to remember, the Spaniards only came around about 500 years ago. So when I sit here and says to you, they had freaking copper and gold and steel tools about roughly 1,500 to 2,000 years ago. That's well the fuck before any conquistador. I mean, this country is one of the most rich in iron that you can find in the world, honestly. You'd think that they would be able to find a way to smelt the most common metal in the entire country. The reason why it bothers me is the academics, they'll turn around and they'll say, oh, well, you're wrong because this is what the archaeologists say. And I'm like, well, did the archaeologists grow up with grandpa and grandma teaching them how to freaking strike steel and telling them the old Cherokee stories about it? No? Huh. They grow up listening to some other putz that was fucking had no idea what the fuck he was talking about, but just dug up a bunch of rocks out of the ground and said, oh, look, stone points. They must have only been stone people. They didn't have metal technology. They must have only been Stone Age people because we found all of these stone points. Do you guys know what steel does in the dirt? I mean, I can kind of show you what steel does in the dirt because it's been sitting in the dirt for a while. See if I can get some good light on that. You kind of see there? That's a chunk of steel. It is covered in fucking rust. So much rust it snaps in half like it wasn't even nothing. This is a piece of steel I bought last fucking year. Y'all understand that? This is why they're not finding evidence of it. It's because it doesn't fucking exist. It's turned to rust. This is what bothers the shit out of me when people says, "Oh, well, Cherokee people and all these other Indian folks, they didn't have steel. They needed to trade with the white man in order to get steel." No, they didn't. You're just reading one side of history and going with it. The other side of history is they already had steels, but the difference is that the white man's metals were better, stronger, could withstand more abuse to different things, could take different types of abuse, like, for instance, firearms. You know, these things were not known to them. They knew how to make a fucking bitchin' ass knife, how to make one hell of a hoe, and how to you know, out of steel. These other ones, these stone tools and the fucking shit, ceremonial. Fucking ceremonial. You're not going to take shit that takes you hours and hours and hours and hours to fucking build and use it in the fucking dirt where it's going to shatter. You're not going to do this shit. Let me ask you something. If you've got the option between a copper hoe and a stone hoe, which one are you going to take in order to dig up your garden? Because I'm going to go for the copper one, personally. I know it's going to last longer. This is why I says to folks, no, the Cherokee people, and everybody that came before them, everybody that came after them, were not fucking Stone Age people. They used certain stone tools for certain specific tasks, which those stone tools worked better in, and for the ceremonial aspect of the stone. When it came down to things like warfare, when it came down to things like I need to chop down a fucking tree, when it came down to things like, for instance, I need to arm the guards, the warriors that watch the area with something that's not their stone tools, so that they can turn around and be able to throw those fucking things away. Because at the end of the day, steel was not as important as stone was. It just wasn't. Stone took real fucking knowledge, hard work, and hours to fix it up right. Steel, while it lasted way longer under fucking stress, well, yeah, it still takes hours and whatnot. The difference was, it takes something that's so dirty. And remember, one of them things that the Native Americans were big on was fucking cleanliness. It's so fucking dirty to do this shit. They wouldn't have wanted to do it very often. It doesn't mean they didn't know how to do it. You'll find forges all the way across the Old West. And when I say forges, I mean bush forges. Basically, it's what a bush forge is just a campfire pit. Okay, you got to have an actual pit to it. And at the bottom of this pit, you'll normally find what looks like a little cube cut out of the bottom. Literally just a little block in the bottom of it that's basically cut out. Or and it's heated to a point where this glazes. All right? Sometimes you'll find steel slag in there, or you'll find it all busted up, but you'll find pieces, like corner pieces. They don't make any fucking sense otherwise. And it looks like a three-sided triangular piece, but it's got a divot in it. Specifically, and it's terracotta. There's no fucking reason for it to be, except that it was a smelting pot. So you got to know what the fuck to look for if you're going to be out there doing it. Which is why, you know, it's advantageous to actually come up in that world and to live in that world if you're going to be doing archaeology about that world. You got to be brought up in the world of it. You know, like, for instance, folks that do archaeology in Great Britain. How many Frenchies you know that do archaeology in Great Britain? Oh, wait. Oh, shit. More. More. I sat there and chundered myself into a corner. Look at that. Jump in here and start this fucker up and more circle going. Come on, chuckle fuck. All right. Now, mind you, this is not to belittle the stonework that they did. Not at all. This is simply to state that stonework was not the be all and end all of it. There was a fuck ton of metalwork involved. There was glazing. Anybody know what that means? They was fucking with glass. Where do you think they got them glass beads from? It sure the fuck wasn't from sitting there and going, ooh, look at the pretty shiny pebble. Holy shit. That's what bothers me about it. It's like, it's not that, you know, it's the belittling of it. That's what it is. It's the degradation of the truth. The belittling of them as a people because, oh, they were savages, right? No, they weren't. Savage. Savage is in the eye of the beholder, motherfucker. Woo! That some bitch is pain in the ass. But yeah, this is stuff I was brought up to. See, my dad, he's a machinist, but he didn't know anything about blacksmithing according to the mainstream of it. All right, he wasn't in the bladesmithing circles. He wasn't in the blacksmithing circles. He was a machinist and a damn good machinist. But the difference were he just wasn't a blacksmith by trade. That does not mean he did not know how to fucking smith steel. And that man, I tell you what, it was one of the coolest things I ever seen was him pull a fucking piece of red hot fucking just blitzkrieg hot steel out of the fucking fire and light a joint off of it and stick it back in. You want to talk about the original gangster? That's my old man. This is back when smoking pot was not okay. I thought it was a cigarette at the time. Turns out it was that wacky tobacco. Yeah, no matter how hard the metal, stone will cut it over time, but no matter how hard the stone, metal will cut it over time too. Did you know that one, zombie? Copper can be utilized to cut granite, although it's much better often used as for cutting terracotta. Y'all didn't know what terracotta is? That's baked earth. That's what these bricks are made out of. Terracotta. Fucking really? Man, you jumped in my coffee, motherfucker. Get out of there, you little fucking winged bastard. There's a bug in my drink, little fucker. You little son of a bitch. Come on. Fuck out of my coffee. Yes. Oh well. Yum. Protein. Yeah. I don't know if you saw it earlier, but I put a post out there. I thought it was quite the giggle. On my community post, I says, "Happy Independence Day to y'all." By the way, for those of you who didn't know, this holiday was brought to you by a bunch of whiskey swilling potheads with guns. You're welcome. And this thing is fucking awesome, man. You gotta imagine. You gotta admit, too. A bunch of whiskey swilling, pot smoking, traitors to the crown, with firearms, created the country in which I now reside, in which many of you now reside in as well. I think that is a glorious thing and something that we have lost sight of as a country. It is incredible what a man may accomplish with a joint in one hand and a fucking a teen or a ski in the other. Oh shit! Gotta give the freaking fire a blowy here. All right. Far. Hot far. Woo! That almost became a goddamn fucking hard day. Come on, motherfucker. God damn it. Always got to be a pain in the ass. Fuck you. You don't get to dictate this. This is me, motherfucker. I do. You don't, bitch. Knock it the fuck off. Oh, what a pain in the ass. Well, I'm getting somewheres with it. I will have a tool by the end of the day that I can turn around and utilize in the next up and coming that open this up. Well, it's almost too bright to do anything right. Hey, how you doing there, Pete? Good to see you. Oh, it's going. As I slowly go insane, it's going. Really hot. Not that it's getting my steel any warmer. Shit's so fucking hot in there, and yet this motherfucker's glowing. Y'all can't see it, but I can. Here, let me take you up a little closer to the forge so you can see inside that motherfucker. The thing is on fire. High speed heat. See if I can get this camera angle a little better. There we go. That's better. Ah. charcoal. Hot fire. Try and straighten this fucking thing out pretty quick here. Almost done with what I can do as far as the impingement is concerned. Come on, you son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. Ow. You cunt. Stay put. Fucker. God damn it. Fuck, I hate these fucking goddamn piece of shit plastic fucking dumbass grips. On a piece of fucking hot steel is just slipperier than fucking grease style shit. Fuck, that takes a lot of effort. Oh well. Maximum effort. It is. Fucker. Well, I'm getting somewhere, as you can see. Little by very little. There's no place like before. Yeah, thanks, Buster. We all know. Appreciate you. I don't think Really? It must be that important. Yeah, here, more, more. Doesn't go. Whoa, that's something else right there. All right, there we go. It's lit again. Just bundles of joy. Well, now, we can get ourselves a fuck if I know. Happy 4th of July, y'all. Happy fucking Independence Day. Way as I look at it, happy birthday, America. Let freedom ring. Ah, that'll do for now. Deathclaw Jedi. Good to see you. Good to see you. Roll tide. Roll fire. Back. Damn it, I'm running out of patience. And I'm running out of freaking shade. Pretty soon I won't be able to see the steel. Shit's black as night. Still not getting hot. As you can see, it's a lot of fun to try and heat that steel up. That W2 does not like to heat like my freaking favorite type of metal to heat up. My favorite type of metal to work. This, you know, 5160 high carbon, it heats up really quickly, really nicely. That shit takes for fucking ever in a day. And when it finally does heat up, it loses its heat really slowly, which tells me that it's got a much lower carbon content. Which means that there's a lot of fucking carburization's got to go into that thing before it becomes, you know, for the other blade that I'm doing, the little stiletto boot knife, that thing's going to need a lot of carburization before it's even serviceable as a knife. Might take a lot of silicone too, which means I got to grind up some more glass. That's always fun. Here, let me give myself silicosis. Fuck. I mean, it ain't that big of a fucking leap anyways. I smoke. I run a forge. I'm constantly breathing in ash. I'm constantly breathing in fucking silicon and shit. Silicosis? Eh. Quite possibly I already have that. So, you saying? Yeah, I've had that particular cough for years. Years. You know, just never really gave enough of a shit to get it checked out just because, like, why? No, I have a coffee grinder that I repurposed. A hammer and a coffee grinder. That's what I've got, bro. And actually, that pretty fucking well works. But ground glass, when I say ground glass, I mean grinding it up into a powder. Okay? Like you making for, you know, primer or something like that. You know, you turn it around and making sparkly flake for paint and stuff like that. That kind of ground glass. Okay? When I'm talking about ground glass, I mean really fine fucking particles of glass. And I turn around and I incorporate that into the steel through heating, cooling, annealing set, you know, back and forth and relaxing it into the steel. It takes a long fucking time to change steel into something else of a steel when you don't have a blast furnace. That's one of the beautiful things about having a forge. It may not be a blast furnace, but I can change the chemical composition of the steel to change it into something else. One of the most beautiful things about forging I've ever seen. You can change metal into a different type of the same metal. I love this particular hobby. I tell you what, this one right here and muzzle loading. Two, I gotta say, two highlights of my recent years. Bladesmithing and muzzleloading. Highlights of my freaking time right now. That's what, when it comes down to it, y'all ever ask yourself, what's my therapy? That's my therapy right here. This is my therapy. This and gunpowder. That is therapy. You get to beat on a fucking piece of steel so hot that you can see the fiery hinges of hell through the other side of a reflection. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for, is that nice fine glass powder, because it incorporates easier. Now, mind you, glass is silicon dioxide. Funny enough, it's an impurity in most steel compositions. Like if you're doing Damascus or something like that, you don't want that in there. But if you're doing something like monochrome or monocrystalline blade stock and blade steels, you kind of need to have some ground up glass to be able to turn around and then, put a layer onto your steel with. And, as a final finish, believe it or don't, that's one of the reasons why my sword is actually so fucking thick. Comes back to, that was part of the stuff that I was making at that borax and ground glass. Borax, ground glass, ash. There was a couple of other things I put in there, but those are the important ones. It's 2 or 3 different forms of silica. And by the time you get all of that heated up so freaking hot that it sticks to the steel, it becomes glass. I actually used some of the last of it on this blade. There used to be a spot right here that was pretty shiny. I ground it off. You can see that's silicon glass right there, incorporated in iron, right there next to my finger. Now, the reason why I was able to do such is because this piece right here, I had there was this little tiny chunk left over in my flux box when I did it, and that actually got in there. Otherwise, yeah, this wouldn't be shiny like that right now. It wouldn't be that silvery sheen either. I got a little bit of it across the blade here in different spots, but most of that is just from me cutting off the rest of the scale. I just lightly polished right here, and that's what you got out of that, was that shiny piece of quartz crystal on the side that turned into basically, a softer form of steel. It softens up steel, but it also absorbs carbon like fucking crazy. So yeah, I'm gonna need to have to get some whatchamacallit, more ground up glass powder. And I should just fucking do what I did last time and buy it ultra refined white glass powder, because that's what cuts it the best. That's what does it the best. And honestly, that's what gives my blades that white sheen to it. that, you know, when I go and I put like an acid etch on it or something, that white sheen kind of, you'll see this like a little bit of a light colored pattern that comes through behind the blue of the acid etch. And that is the silicon resisting the etch while the steel behind it, you know, is covered by that silicon, and the steel around it isn't covered by it, so you get the blue colors on the sides. It's actually really fucking cool looking when it's all said and done. It looks like Damascus steel, even though it's not fucking Damascus steel. To this day, I have not been able to get a freaking proper bar of Damascus to weld for me. So, and of course, I do everything old school, so I don't have a welder. Silica, no. Silicon dioxide. Yeah, I'm a bit of a freaking a nut myself. Silica is not silicon dioxide. Most of the time, it's a fluorosilicate or a carbomer silicate. Depends on where, you know, what where you're getting it from. But silica is liquid. I'm talking about a hard powder, a solid, not a liquid. Silicon tetrafluoride. That's one of those, you know, silica liquids. It's not one that I would ever suggest you fuck around with, because that one could actually fuck you up bad. But I'm just saying, you know, that's how silica normally comes. Silica, like I said, is a liquid. Yeah, hey, by all means, I'm glad I could help you with it. I mean, I learned this shit from sitting there and growing pot. But yeah, the silica that you buy for plants and whatnot, that is not silicon dioxide. Okay, that is what's called trace silica. It's not even. It turns into sand the moment it contacts water, which is how you know it is not silicon dioxide. Silicon dioxide is already sand. So yeah, it's not the chemical I want to go sticking on my knives. Silicon dioxide is basically quartz, glass. You know what I mean? You can get borosilicates and those kind of work all right, but I'd much rather a dioxide of silica, because it acts more like an acid once you put it onto the steel, and it bonds with the steel. So, I mean, that's one of the reasons why, if you'll pardon me for a second, I'll go get it for you. This blade has a musical ring to it. All right. good example of ACL1 or ACL01, okay? That's that silicon steel. That's what ACL, the designation stands for, is silicon steel. It's easier to say ACL than ASL. But anyway, I want you to listen closely now. It's got a low thunk to it, but it vibrates and it holds a vibration, kind of like a tuning fork. That's the silicon in the steel, making it so that it's got a certain resonant frequency. It's actually really fucking intensely cool shit. That's why, you know, in a lot of forges, a lot of guys that run a forge, you'll see them using ground glass like fucking crazy, like it's going out of style. You'll see them, you know, flux everywhere, and it's not really flux. It's ground up glass in flux. And it's there to not only pull away the detrus scale, but also to adhere the silicon straight to the steel itself, creating a protective barrier against further oxidization of the steel, and allows for carbon to penetrate the lattice of the steel more effectively. There's a lot of fucking blacksmiths and bladesmiths that do this. It all depends on how much carbon is already present in the steel, whether or not you can use that trick, which is why 5160 is so useful for it. It's got the perfect measure of carbon in this already existent in the steel, to where it will allow for silicon to bind with the steel and create more voids for carbon to pack itself in there. And that's when you start to get things like this. This is fucking incredible steel. I mean, it looks flimsy as fuck. That thing is harder than a fucking rock. Solid as a brick, you know? Hard as a rock, solid as a brick. Shit. Even though it's not really sharp, you kind of use it to kind of already get a pushing some freaking wood off of here. So yeah, this thing's fucking hard as is all get out, and it's just carbon, iron, silicon. Silicon dioxide, not silica. My bad. Now you got me saying it. That. How hard is it? Ooh, cheap cherry. Y'all do. Cherry, cherry, cherry red. Fuck. Fuck you, red. Fucking slippery cunt. Slippery or greased out shit in a fucking goddamn swimming pool. Yeah. About as easy as pulling teeth. Still not done. This thing won't be done for hours. But it's a tool that will speed up the process of the rest of it, because the rest of it is honestly taking way too fucking long, even for my liking. So I know that, Petty's got to be over there like, fuck, dude, come on, man. You've been on this fucking project for how many months now? I know. I already know. I know for a fact. It's like, dude, this is irritating as fuck. I already know. And I know man's trying to be gracious because it's like, yeah, it's a gift, but seriously, dude, fucking take it forever. Yeah, this shit takes for fucking ever. But you've seen the results. I mean, they speak for themselves. So that's why, the right tool, the right job to finish the right task should work out. Again, I'm running out of shade, which means that I'm not going to be able to do this for much longer. Right around 10:30, 11 o'clock, we're done. Because I just can't keep I can't get I can't keep the metal at the right temperature, because I can't tell what the color of the metal is because it's too bright outside for your eyes to be able to tell. Hmm. All right. Well, there what? Hop two. Don't want it to go bad now. That motherfucker is hot, boy. Now for the fun part. I gotta knock a taper back into it. And then I gotta put a kink in the side. You gotta make sure that socket seats first. So take out that hardy tool. Yeah, that's gonna stay in there. $1. So I need 1/4 inch. Now 3/8 inch. I'll take it to 1/2 inch and try to work shit in. There. Ah, yummy. right. Well, all right. Solar rain, and when it's my time to go, sleeping in the Well, hey, cuz, good to see you. Good to see you. Sitting here getting this old metal hot. Well, shit. Happy Independence Day, cuz. I don't know if I said it to you earlier, but I says it to you now. Oh, holy shit. Oh, it is getting hot already. And I got the forge rolling. Woo! That fucker's hot. Fuck's sake. Fucker got more air than fucking Tony Hawk. What a pain in the ass. Greetings to all those out there in the colonies. And for those of you who didn't know, you have your festivities today thanks to a few fine men who also just so happen to be potheads and alcoholics. That sucks. Out of the good stuff, all I got left is tobacco, and it's dwindling. And yeah, the price I pay to have fucking nice shit. So for those who are so inclined, if you're part of the black powder community, do perk your ears up, because this is straight up for you. Methinks that it would behoove us to come up with a safe method of creating black powder uh, for the use in antique muzzleloaders, so as to make it so that individuals who would be otherwise inclined, who don't see black powder as a safe route and are leery of it because of that, I believe there is a method that could make it so that it would be safe for those individuals enough that they would be confident and able to get into the field. And today is one of those days where, you know, that part of our heritage is really, really, really fucking important. Y'all don't understand this adherently in the YouTube sphere, so I'm gonna try and lay this out for those folks who are YouTubers only and solely. The United States was conceived of and built in the fiery turmoil and chaos of war. Our country is a war tribe made up of 50 fucking war tribes, made up of hundreds of fucking war tribes. So, you know, yeah, our fucking history is bloodier than fuck. And that's just the reality of it, okay? Um, but the beautiful thing about it is what those men did, and what the sacrifices that they made so that we could have the lives we have today. I mean, you know, Francis Scott Key, the reason why he penned that great poem that, you know, was later turned into the national anthem itself. He saw the men and women and children and dogs and horses lying dead against the flagpole to hold it up in their mad dash to keep it aloft so that the rest of the forces wouldn't lose faith. And they did that under the fire of a tyrannical regime. I mean, think on it real good and tough. There's a reason why our country was built in the fiery forge and furnace of chaotic battle. We didn't have another choice. Those choices were exhausted repetitively. And all said and done, the parallels between then and now They're too eerie similar, in my opinion. But difference is, got a bunch of nutless wonders out there. And the ones that do have the balls to act, unfortunately, weren't born with them. That's really fucked up, by the way. You gotta imagine it. The men today want to be women, and the women want to be fucking men. I mean, it's weird. I mean, the women wanting to be men, that's not as fucking weird. No, that's not even close to as weird as you were born a dude and you want to be a chick. Like, bruh. No. Once you get whacked, you can't go back. You know? Don't be playing with that shit. But, you know, I digress. Apparently, it takes a certain long train of abuses and usurpations. And for individuals enough to be reduced under absolute despotism. And despotism isn't, oh, well, you know, I've got it hard. I've just got it so hard because, you know, I'm young and my emotions are fucking turmoil because my hormones are going nuts. That's not fucking despotism. Y'all need to get your heads on straight. Despotism is you are living under a fucking coat propped up on sticks. Despotism is you are living out of your car and hand to fucking mouth. Despotism is no matter how hard you work, nobody can hire you. Because if they do so, they take on all sorts of fucking responsibilities that are just detrimental to their company. Despotism is reducing an individual's ability to forge their own destiny. That is despotism. Everything all else is that y'all fucking call despotism, that ain't despotism. That's just fucking desperation. Let's clarify here. There is a difference. Desperation. Okay, well, what are you desperate for? Are you desperate for attention? Are you desperate for forgiveness for some transgression? Are you desperate for what? Desperate for, if you're desperate for food, that is not desperation, that is despotism. There is a difference. You are struggling. And struggling in a manner which would otherwise be considered to be a crime against you, not against others. That's what despotism is. It is literally you are struggling so fucking hard that you should be getting ahead, but you are not. There is no fucking way you're getting ahead. This is where taxes kind of play a big ass fucking part, folks. Despotism, y'all understand, back in the day, they called a 3% tax hike on everything because of stamp tax, you know, import tax. They called a 3% hike on everything despotism because it reduced their ability to be able to procure goods and services and to therefore also provide goods and services. It reduced their ability. And now we are at this point where we are spending 40% tax increase by comparison to zero. Which is where we're supposed to be as a nation. That's where it's supposed to be, you know, zero taxation. But zero taxation, furthermore, without representation, which we've not had. And then these motherfuckers want to sit there and you know, belly-o about oh, well, I don't feel like I'm in the right body. Motherfucker, how's about the real fucking situations that's facing the United States right now? Because I'll tell you something. The men that created this holiday that you are celebrating right fucking now would not fucking exist if it weren't for the fact that they understood exactly what despotism was and exactly when the time was come for to become insurrectionary versus just outspoken. There is a difference between insurrection and outspokenness. There is a difference between peaceful protest or violent protest and insurrection. Insurrection is the direct action, violent, against your government without due cause. There is a fucking reason for it. Insurrection is without due cause. In all reality, it would be called redress of grievance for what the January 6ers did. Hell, they wouldn't even be that far. It would be peaceful protest. Because I never saw a fucking violent motherfucker in that crowd. Sure, there's a lot of yelling, shouting, and whatnot. But the only projectiles I saw get loosed got loosed by the police. So do tell. Even after those projectiles were loosed, they did not fucking retaliate with projectiles. They retaliated with curses, insult. Honestly, neither is right in that particular, but at the same time, one is the bigger person in that. So, take it where what you will, but reality dictates. Them motherfuckers did nothing wrong. Aside from walking into a trap. We all knew it was a trap too. Yep. I'll tell you this, cuz folks that want to play the victim, they actually want to play the victim. There's a place for that. There is a place for that, and it sure the fuck ain't in the United States. Here, if you play the victim, well, you're going to be victimized repetitively because people see you as weak. Now, if you choose to not be a victim, or if you were victimized but you choose to not be a victim again, and therefore you take the power for yourself to not be a victim, well, then you're some evil son of a bitch, some dastardly person, because you chose to fucking stand up for yourself. Let me tell you something. The person that tells you that that is reality is your enemy. You have every right to stand up for yourself. Somebody who tells you that you can't stand up for yourself, or you shouldn't stand up for yourself, or, you know, they did you wrong, so let us take care of it. No, motherfucker, get out of my way. I'll do it. If it's to be done, I will do it. And if it is to be, then it is up to me. Don't let somebody else dictate your fucking destiny. Need more wood. Oh, oh, my bones are crunchy. Uh, yes, that is true, because if that was an insurrection, if that would have been an insurrection, let me tell you something. Um, y'all ever heard of the what you would call it, the Teamsters Rebellion, or the Whiskey Rebellion, or the what was it? What was the other one? The VFW rebellions. There are several. If you've heard of those, then you know when American citizens come together as a group to stand against their government in a violent nature, the government backs the fuck down because it is an overwhelming response of epic fucking proportions that nobody can stand against. That is a fucking tidal wave of pain. That is an actual insurrection. This other shit that happened on the fucking January 6th was not a fucking insurrection by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, I would go so far as to state that the people who called it an insurrection, well, they are guilty of a particular crime specific that in the United States is tantamount to treason. And that is, what was it? Political persecution. So, in all reality, the people from January 6th had every right to be violent and were not. I mean, let's be clear. There is a fucking clear difference between violent and non-violent in America. A very clear difference. The difference is, if bullets are flying, if bombs are exploding, and people are dying in droves, buildings are being shot to pieces, that is a fucking insurrection. That is an actual violent response. So, you know, the key point of an insurrection, which denotes an insurrection, violence for no good reason, is not even fucking relatively present at January 6th. It's not even close. The qualifier is not there. So it's a matter of who the fuck opened their mouth and started flapping their gum bumpers and saying shit was what wasn't. Those are the people that we need to actually turn around and says, no, you lose your talking card. You no longer have the talking stick. Those are the people we need to do that to. Be fair and honest. None of this hate speech bullshit. Let's be fucking real about it. A true insurrection would have fucking left senators' bodies laying out in the fucking street. I did not see that, did you? This is my point. I saw no bodies laying out in the street. The only body that was dropped that day happened to be a service member to our country who was shot after being allowed into the building. And this sort of shit, this is why I said it was a trap. And I knew it was a trap before it even fucking went down. Specifically because I had just been basically through a situation of pretty much being fucking fucked up the ass with a trap from the state of California. I saw it coming. I knew it was coming. I felt it coming. There's a reason why in that courtroom I straight up told the fucking judge, I am not the guy. I am a red pawn. I am the canary in the coal mine. I'm the dude that when you come after me, everybody knows something is up. Everybody knows you done fucked up because I'm the guy that nobody gets to. No, look, I don't go out fucking around and hurting people. I don't go out and starting to cause trouble. If anything, if I'm involved in some sort of a situation where somebody might be, a threat, the reality of it is I'm the guy trying to stop it from fucking happening. So I saw that shit coming. I knew it was a trap. Out the gate, I knew it was a fucking trap. When people said, are you going to January 6th? I said, no, I am staying 3,000 fucking miles away from there. There's a reason behind that. I saw it coming. And the problem is that nobody else did. Or if they did, they chose to deal with the fire rather than put on the fucking thermal suit first. Look, I'm all for living dangerously, but damn. I mean, I don't walk into fucking straight up traps. I really don't. I try my damnedest not to. It has to be a really fucking elaborate trap for me to walk into it. Really was an elaborate trap for me to fucking have walked into it in California. So there you go. But at the end of the fucking day, the judge saw my way. Luckily. Because I'd have been spending years in prison and never been able to prove my innocence, specifically because it was based off of a trap. That's where it was started at. It was all the fucking trap in the beginning. And when that happened to me, my fucking antennae were put up. Like, my feelers were out immediately. I knew shit was up. You know. See here. Pilgrim. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Anyways, we're sitting here chuntering on about the state of independence in our nation, or rather lack of. That's what I'm sitting here chuntering on about. While I sit here and I get steel hot enough to be able to move it around and make it into a tool that I can turn around and use. Come on, fucker. Get hot. So, anyways, we was talking about this January 6th, and I said back when it first, went down, folks asked me in a live stream, are you going to the January 6th? I said no. And I think that anybody that does is a fool. And I said this way the fuck back when. You can check it out for yourself. There are live streams where I was sitting there and I was telling folks, it's stupid, don't go. And when they says, well, you're just a coward, I says, no, I'll be standing my fucking ground, taking care of my post out in the middle of the fucking desert, in the middle of fucking, on the Colorado River. I will be fucking holding my post, but y'all motherfuckers, you don't understand. You are walking into a trap. Oh, we know it's a trap. Well then, why the fuck are you doing it? It's called patriotism. No. That's called stupidity. Our founding fathers didn't walk into traps. They tried to avoid them. They were still as patriotic as it comes. They bled red, white, and blue, and you can fucking take that to the bank. So, miss me with that horseshit of, oh, well, it's called patriotism. It's not. It's called walking blindly into the bullets. That's what it is. making yourself damn cannon fodder over what? An opinion? Because the opinion that you held, yes, it was valid, sure. Don't get me wrong on that. I agree with you there. You had a righteous opinion and were valid. However, that was the wrong fucking venue. They made it difficult for a reason. They made fucking protesting at the Capitol difficult for a fucking reason. It was so that they could utilize it as a political tool. This is why you have never seen me at a fucking protest at the fucking nation's capital or the state's capital for that matter, in any of the states. Because I know it is a trap. The moment that it's a fucking capital, walk the fuck away. It's one thing if you're just marching down Main Street, okay, whatever. If you live in that city, in that capital, and you're marching down the Main Street of that capital that you live in, okay, there's permissibles there. But if you're going to another fucking city or another fucking state to do that shit, that is a trap. As much as you want to reinforce your brothers and sisters, the reality of it is a trap. And if you go and you try to take that damn cheese, you're going to get your finger snapped. It's just how it works. This is why you avoid the trap. So that in the future, you can be an effective warfighter, if necessary. Pray God it never does. But if it do, and you're stuck in a fucking prison cell, you cannot help your brothers and sisters, which makes it so that in the end, you did more damage by trying to help them out than you did by staying the fuck out of the shot. Really. You did more damage trying to help them than you would have done by coming in and cleaning up afterwards. And it sucks. It's a reality. It's not something I'm sitting there I'm proud of or I'm happy for or none of that shit. Trust me, I'm not. But it's a fucking reality. Traps exist like this specifically to try and control the masses. To be uncontrollable, you have to be smarter than them. You have to utilize their fucking program to your advantage. Trust me, it is not easy. You're going to go and get involved in that shit. Don't walk into the blatant traps. That's the best advice I can give anybody. Don't walk into what is blatantly a trap. January 6th was blatantly a fucking trap. And everybody knew it. I mean, everybody fucking knew it. They had to have. If an individual, one person, cannot protest legally at a state capital, then the nation's capital is completely the fuck off limits. And it's been this way for a good at least dozen years. I mean, it never said that that law was lawful. More like suggestory. But it's the same. They will utilize that in order to make it so that their fucking henchmen put your ass in cuffs and in chains. Your brain is your first weapon. Your gun, that needs to be your second or third. or fourth. Your brain should be always your first one. And this is what really hurts me, and it's why, like, I know folks don't want to hear it. I know it's not something that puts a sour taste in your mouth, like, oh, well, you just fucking don't like it because you were there. No, dude, I don't like it specifically because it was a trap. Whether I was there or not, you have to admit, I don't like it because I knew it was a trap and I saw it coming. I saw it coming a long fucking ways off. I saw it coming way back in where is it? Back in 2020, before January 6th. Hell, back in 2019, I saw it coming. And I says, hey, dude, they're gonna try something. Lo and fucking behold, hey, everybody, go to this big old rally that we're gonna have for President Trump, because even though he lost, we need to go show him our support. On Pennsylvania Avenue. That's how you walk into a fucking trap. You have a cell phone in your hand. You're watching this from a cell phone or a computer. You have the ability to voice your words and whatnot without having to go anywhere. If you're going all the way down there to go and show your support, you have to think about what is the op going to think, what is the op going to do, and then how do I keep myself free? Because trust me, the whole aspect of what they did with J6 was specifically to control those individuals that they captured. That was the entire fucking reason for it, the entire role in it. Control these people, make it so that we have something on them so that when they go back out there, because they're going to get back out, they're going to go back out, and they're going to be part of this group, we can turn around and use them as moles, blackmail, or what have you. And it literally takes somebody who does not give a flying shit about their reputation to walk through that. Come out smelling like a fucking rose on the other side. Because that is a pile of shit. That's why they did it. In a nutshell, that is exactly why they did it. Everything else is just pandering. Playing to the masses. They needed to have a political tool to be able to turn around and point at us and says, all right, you know this person, get chummy with them again, tell us what they're doing so that we can find something to put them in jail for. That's actually what it is. I watched this happen on the streets of LA. I watched this happen in Riverside. I watched as dozens of people got tracked in for them to only find out that these people didn't know a motherfucking thing about what they were asking them to do. We turned right back the fuck out on their ear. Oh, well, we're sorry. We didn't mean to arrest you. Please don't sue us. Here's your freedom back. For the other motherfuckers that they caught up in that dragnet, the right-wingers and the good guys, you know, the folks that are out there just trying to be good, just trying to be nice, just trying to do the right thing for their community, they turned around and slapped them with all sorts of fucking charges and turned around and said, all right, you're going to do exactly what we tell you to do, or you're going to spend years in prison. Luckily enough, for a lot of those people, the charges couldn't have stuck. For some of them, though, sorry to tell you this, but you don't know who you can trust. And that's not me trying to be, you know, a fearmonger or some shit like that. No, I'm just telling you. You don't know who you can trust now. It's actually why my brother got me that t-shirt that says, don't trust anybody. Because when he was younger, he saw that shit, that sort of shit, first fucking hand as it happened around his ears. And couldn't get away from it. He tried. He did not want to be part of all that shit. And he still got caught up in that fucking horse shit. Because they wanted him because he was close to me. One of the fucking hardest things I've ever had to do was fucking move away from my brother. Y'all may not realize this, but I love my brother. We ain't blood, but everything else wise. I'd jump into the fray for his ass. And they knew that. Going into that, they knew that. They put his ass in behind bars because they thought it's an easy in to be able to keep tabs on yours truly. Except they didn't realize that I am hip to their fucking jive. And I know their game. Specifically because they played it on me for years. So now I even smell it in the slightest. I've got the power of Christ compels you to be thee from me, Satan. Just fuck that horseshit. That's the kind of disposition I have now. I don't spend a lot of time around my family or my friends. I don't spend a lot of time around anybody because of what the state of California did to my brother in order to keep an eye on me. They put that man behind bars under the threat of felony with a specific word in his ear to report on me to his probation officer. Before I had ever even known of this shit or had anything about to do with it, his parole officer came to check out my guns while I was over 100 miles away from my brother. The only way that they would have known was because my mom tells my brother everything. And I happen to be going on a hunting mission, and I don't tell nobody nothing except for my mama where the fuck I'm going, because if there's a problem or some at least she knows where to look for me. Everybody else I excluded from that because they don't need to know. However, they knew exactly where the fuck I was at all fucking times and had cops watching my ass while I was up the side of a fucking mountain in a campsite way the fuck off the beaten path. You had to hike to find my campsite. And these motherfuckers are out there, oh, what are you doing out here? Dude, who the fuck are you? Just walk right into my camp. You know, well, I'm Department of Forestry. Okay. You can see I keep all my trash carried. I keep all my shit together. I make sure that my fire's out every night, and I clean up my space. All right, well, just make sure that you get it all out of here. Yeah, that won't be a problem. Thank you. Fucker walks off, and for the next 2 to 3 days of my deer hunt, I literally walked the entire fucking mountainside with a mouth breather not 40 fucking yards from my ass, literally crunching every stick on the way up the mountainside. And these motherfuckers want to tell me, oh, well, we weren't watching you, really. Uh-huh, sure. Precisely why I don't fucking trust cops. It has nothing to do whatsoever with, oh, well, there's good cops and bad cops, and the bad cops are always pieces of shit, and they're just out to fucking make a buck. No, it has nothing to fucking do with that. It has to do with, because of my political outspokenness, a particular sect of individuals in power in government in the state of California took it upon themselves to target me as an individual. Reason number one, I don't fucking live in California anymore. Fuck you sons of bitches. The horse you rode in on, the merit sired it. I would not fucking piss on you if you were fucking burning alive. And that is why. Not a damn soul had my fucking back except for my mama. So when y'all ask me, well, why do you hate California so much? Why do you have a problem with cops? That's why, motherfuckers. Yours truly was targeted by a fucking police department who was trying to see to a prosecutor's wet dream of taking down a right-winger. I say that in air quotes because I'm not right, I'm not left, I'm not up, I'm not down, I'm not straight down the fucking middle. I am not even there. My stance is specifically so fucking old it doesn't exist in this state of consciousness anymore. That is directly exact to the way that the Constitution was written. Not how it's fucking interpreted anymore, but how it was written. That's why they hate my guts. That's why they want me off of every fucking platform. That's why they want me to fucking, just go away. Because they couldn't take me down the old-fashioned way, so the only other option is make him go away by whatever means necessary. I'm not going away, and I'm pretty fucking hard to kill, so your move. What I can say is through all this shit, The prosecutor herself got her wet dream. For the most part, minus taking down the right winger. I was her last case before she became vice president. Yeah, the fucking prosecutor literally turned around to me and said, "You know, I'm retiring after your case." And we all know what this prosecutor's name is. Why it's so difficult for y'all to see me right now. We're having a little circle of death. Suppress the words, the message will still find its way. I will do everything in my power to shoot Kamala's chance of being president all to shit. Everything in my power. Because, for two reasons. One, that woman took it upon herself to try to destroy my life based upon a political ideal, a political ideology, rather than based upon any particular crime. Furthermore, and what's far worse in my opinion, um, she chose to attack the one individual who was doing his damnedest to try to save our nation. Other than Mr. Trump, of course. She attacked me. I didn't go after her. I didn't go after nobody in the law enforcement. I was like, no, hey, law enforcement, hey, you guys are out there trying to do the right fucking thing. Great, awesome. Let me help. But instead, I ended up taking the full fucking brunt of the fire, minus the bullets. And she got to fucking walk down easy street to go right to the fucking vice presidency. So, miss me with, oh, play nice. Be fair. Motherfuckers, this is fair. This is fucking nice. This is as nice as could possibly be with that particular piece of human trash. That woman is the reason I don't date. In a nutshell. But more appropriately, women like her are the reason I don't date. Not really. Yeah, I might throw my hat in the ring if it's like a particular individual who actually happens to be along my sensibilities. But for the most part, for a large part, I don't fucking date. And specifically because I expect that kind of fucking attitude coming out of anybody anymore. I just expect it. I am pleasantly surprised when that is not the kind of people that I deal with. It makes me so joyous, so happy that those kind of people are actually very fucking rare. Just not rare enough. At least in my opinion. Ooh. Fuck, I'm getting old. All my cards are on the table with no ace left in the hole. And I'm much too young to feel this thing home. Not much anymore. Go back. Go, Christ. Oh, God. I don't give a shit about the size. All right. Forging some ores. More charcoal rolling here. Yeah, I'm about to run out of freaking shade for certain. I can't see that steel no more. Can't see it glowing, and I know it should be. I'm gonna burn this down to charcoal, and then I'm gonna put it out. This will be the last haul for that. This should be hot already, but it's not. Well, it's not red out here. Fuck you, huh? Like shit on fire down there. Fuck you, cunt. Quit jumping, bitch. Well, it's somewhere. Not exactly great, but it's somewhere with it. Billy, good to see you. So, I actually have a conversation I want to have with you, Billy. I want to pick your brain about a couple of things. Um, Airset Future. Um, you have my cell phone number, correct? If you don't, I will go ahead and give it off to you. Um, I need to talk to you. I need to talk at you about plenty enough black powder guns when you get a chance. But it needs to be offline because I'm not dealing with this horse shit of YouTube screwing up shit and going back and forth. So yeah. something you might know, whereas I probably don't know enough. Doesn't mean I don't know it, I just don't know enough about it. Fuck. Alright, just a second, brother. Put shit down and I'll put it here. All right. See here, and here's Michelle number. Okay. Let me know when you got it. All right. Okay. All right. So yeah, Billy sent me a text from there, and I'll go ahead and get back at you with all the different pictures and you know questions and whatnot about what I'm doing, and maybe you can help me. I hope you can, because it's not really a difficult situation, not really a difficult proposition. It's a matter of what I'm doing. I want to have, well, not the expert, the dude that's the professional that I know, give me a little bit of a guiding hand as do this, don't do that, and just be smart about it with this and that and the other, and you should be just free and clear and fine. I mean, and there's a reason why I'm saying it that way, is because I'm talking black powder gun. I'm not talking modern firearms, so it's something we can do a little bit more easily without having to fuss with all that other fun shit. But still, it's a matter of I want to get shit right, because I don't want things going hablooey on me. And it just so happens you make modern firearms, which means that you'll probably know exactly what I'm asking for, the little tidbits of knowledge that I'm asking for, and be able to help me with that. Whereas some other folks may not. They may not be able to help me with that, even though they're more knowledgeable in other fields of the same. Okay. Okay. I'll give me just a second. One moment. Oh shit. And as soon as the live stream is over, I will hit you up on that. Go ahead and take down your number, brother. Or I could do it if you don't want to. But yeah, go ahead and take down your number. That way, nobody else is going to sit there and fucking blow up your phone on you. It's okay, Billy. Like I says, I'll fix it. I got that number already written down. I got your number written down, so I'll get to you in a short order. As soon as my live stream is over, be sure to do that. And I've got it typed into my dial phone thing, so I'm gonna give you a quick call, and then I'm gonna hang up because this is easier to do in text messages. But so the 310 number that calls you is going to be me. Especially when there's a text that comes in afterwards that says, "Hey, this is Blaine." I just need to do that in order to get it to download into my contact system, so I can actually start a message farm with you. But yeah, it's a matter of just some smithery, as it were. But I want to do things right, and that's why, when it comes down to it, I want to have somebody who does it as like, that's your thing, like, yeah, you do it as a hobby, but that's your thing. That bladesmithing's mine, right? Okay, this is where we get into this. I know you do bladesmithing as well, but that's beside the point. My point is that you do this one particular far better than I know of, as far as I can do, and I can say that with no small amount of confidence just because of where I'm coming from with it. Now, that being said, I'm fair knowledgeable myself about a lot of different shit, and that's one of them. It's just I'm not knowledgeable enough to be confident, which is why it's always good to have somebody to turn to when you need to ask questions. Always a good idea to ask questions. The only stupid question is the one that is not asked when it is pertinent. Right now, that one was pertinent because Billy was in the chat. So I says, yeah, get her done. Holy shit, it is hotter than a fire ant's ass being skitter popped across a fucking cast iron skillet with glowing red hot. Whoo! I swear to God, I could sell tanning beds to fucking to Satan. Fuck. Whoo, it's hot. That's a forge. Whew. All right. Here he is. It is 11:00 o'clock. It is now apparently too bright for me to see the steel. Ow, fucking fuck. Yep, too bright for me to see the steel. I'm going to go ahead and just do what little bit I can with this and then set this to anneal. Yeah. All right. Set this fucker to anneal. Ow, hot, motherfucker. I need it to be at annealing temperatures, not fucking hot. Not melting temperature. Not forging temperature. There. Ow, hot. Go. Annealing temperatures. Okay. So that's set up to anneal. Y'all, it has been real. Y'all have a very lovely 4th of July Independence Day. And I will catch you all later. This is Yo Guardsman, and motherfuckers. I'm out.